Well, if the rumors are true and the Note 7 actually does have an iris scanner, will that be more secure than a fingerprint sensor? And if so, how? The news that the Note 7 will have an iris scanner comes via the Korea Times, which also claims that the camera manufacturer called Patron will be charged with the task of supplying this component. Now, this news should not come as a big surprise given that Samsung has already announced the Galaxy Tab Iris, a $200 tablet that is designed for Indian government officials that also has a so-called iris scanner. In recent weeks, renderings of a supposed Galaxy Note 7 have appeared which include two front-facing cameras, thus ramping up the rumors about this iris scanner. Now, why would an iris scanner be better than fingerprint sensors? Well, the Korean Times pointed out that, quote, compared to fingerprint scanning technology, which works by recognizing 40 traits on a fingerprint, the iris scanner recognizes 266 traits on an iris, meaning the latter offers greater accuracy and security, unquote. Well, if you've been wondering about what the N could be in Android N, we have some clues. Back in May, Google announced that it would be doing something a little different with the naming process for the next version of Android. Instead of thinking of the name internally, this time around, the company is letting users vote on their favorite sweet treats that start with the letter N. While Google still hasn't decided on an official name, at least not publicly, Android VP Hiroshi Lockheimer is trying his best to keep the hype train rolling. On Twitter, Lockheimer has tweeted out a series of not-so-subtle images that all feature the name Nutella in some way. The first, as you can see here, is a photo of a menu that features a dish called Nutella Pizzetta. In the next screenshot from a Chrome OS device running a number of different Android applications, check out the Google search window in the back. Now, before you get all too excited about Android Nutella, you should know that Google has not been above trolling us in the past and sending us on red herring, suggesting that marshmallow was really milkshake. So remember, this could be a ploy. Now let's actually talk about Android N itself. In an announcement post, Google notes that all the new APIs introduced in Android N are now final, which means developers can start compiling their apps to test against the official Android N API. Developers can also publish updates to the Google Play Store. If you are a developer and you want to make sure that your updated application runs well on Android N, you'll want to look into using Google Play's beta testing feature. So what's new in the fourth Android N developer preview? It looks like this. Google is working hard to make sure that Android runs faster, in this case in two specific ways. One, when you are trying to load different languages in the past, Google would load all languages at once. But if you don't need all those languages, that's kind of wasted time and resources. So now Android allows you to load just one or two languages, the selected languages that you actually care about. And secondly, Android is trying to be more efficient when it comes to beacons. So when you are shopping at a mall or in different stores, soon you'll start to get beacons or signals from the shop about possible coupons or sales or something like that. And Android is now limiting these clients or these APIs from sending at least 5 notifications every 30 seconds. So you can't be bombarded with a bunch of beacons, thereby draining your battery unnecessarily. Moving on to news about Now on Tap, which is available without Google Now access. Now on Tap is a more recent service launched by the search giant and allows you to get more information about what's on your screen instead of having to go and search for it elsewhere. The idea is to make the internet more personal and easier to work with. For example, imagine if you were having a chat with a friend via SMS and they invite you to meet them at the movies. Now on Tap will use this information to offer a calendar entry to go to the cinema with that person. It will also show you information about the movie, including reviews, YouTube clips, and other information that's relevant to that discussion. You see, until recently, you needed to have the full Google Now system activated, including the cards, to use Now on Tap. The two systems were interlinked. If you disabled the Show Cards option in the settings of Google Now, then it would disable Now on Tap. However, Google has updated the app and separated the need for users to have Google Now cards switched on. The new switch allows just Now on Tap to be enabled. Of course, if you want the full experience of Google Now, you really should enable both Google Now and Now on Tap. Do you guys remember from like 15 years ago when people were making money hands over fist in the .com bubble? Remember, we didn't call it a .net bubble or .org bubble. We didn't call them .biz billionaires. We called them .com billionaires, because that's the power of a .com. Now, why is that? Because no domain name extension tells your story with the same degree of trust as a .com or .net domain name. .com and .net domain name extensions inject credibility into your online presence. Save 15% on domain names and web hosting when you use our coupon code Android at domain.com checkout. When you think domain names, think domain.com. Thanks for your patience this week, guys. I was quite late with Android Weekly, and that's because most of the Android Authority staff was at a retreat, a meeting this past weekend in Los Angeles, where we worked really hard, had some fun. It was great to actually meet the rest of my colleagues in person for the first time, at least most of them. We were missing a few, but it was very productive, and we actually launched VR Source on Monday, which is your source for all things virtual reality, and they are now at E3. You can search their YouTube channel and check out VR Source, and the website, of course, vrsource.com. Those guys are working really hard to bring you all the best stuff in virtual reality. We have lots of good things happening in the world of geekdom. If you guys have any comments or questions, please put them in the comments below. I will be sure to read them. Talk to you later, guys.